What's happening, guys? It's your girl Mina. For the first time in what is a hot minute, I can do a stream right after the game, and it's a win. Big up to everybody in the chat. Manchester United 3-3, Crystal Palace 0. Now, I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. I'm going to be very honest. I'm not going to get too ahead of myself because number one, there was a lot of rotation in our team, but also B, there was a lot of rotation in the Crystal Palace team. I predicted 2-0 before the game. I was only one off, so I'll take it. I'm very happy with the clean sheet. But yo, let's get straight into it. Big up to everybody in the chat. Ahmed Shane saying masterclass. You know what? I was very impressed with a lot of the performances today. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not gonna get onto the whole we play better without Bruno and Rashford. So guys, please, let's keep it humble here, okay? Let's keep it humble and let's keep it realistic. Let's keep it realistic. But I'm gonna start with, of course, my guy Sufyan Amrabat, the Moroccan monster, Thima Maghrib, and all of that kind of stuff. Big up to him for an amazing Old Trafford debut. I think I was actually blown away. I was standing up. I was clapping at some points. I swear, I was clapping at some points. Is this what we've been deprived of for so long? And I know a lot of us question the idea of him starting at left back. I did too, but once the game started, I realized he wasn't actually playing left back, and quite often he was going inverted, and they were creating a back three with having Casemiro drop or Hannibal drop between Maguire and Rafael Varane. Listen, guys, the number of I have to read these stats to you because it's ridiculous. I ain't seen man do this even in 90 minutes. Some midfielders that have played for us. Sufyan Amrabat, 90 minutes played, 96% pass accuracy, 83% duels won, 83% long balls completed, 91 touches, and 10 passes into the final third, all in the space of 60 minutes. I was very impressed with his performance, very excited to see him and Casemiro together. I think Casemiro, you guys know what it is, man. He had a man of the match performance. I don't know what to say. Some people doubted him, and I did say, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be very honest, because you know me, guys, I'm an honest person. I did say that Casemiro turned it around in the Burnley game in the second half, and I felt like he just built on that. He was absolutely rock solid, spraying passes left, right, center. I think with Amrabat here, it will allow him to play a lot more forward and get into his playmaking bag. Got a goal and an assist, and big up to Money Mace. Money Mace. I know a lot of you guys. I know some people they don't see the vision. They don't see the vision with Mason Mount. But today I think he did extremely well for his first game back from injury. Got in 45 minutes, of course, and first assist in a Manchester United shirt, and it hopefully will not be the last. I want to hear what you guys think about the game today. Of course, like I said, don't want to get too ahead of myself. Crystal Palace heavily rotated their team. And of course, I think Roy Hodgson will be looking to put out a much stronger team on Saturday. But do you guys think, if you guys, let me know in the chat, who do you think should be in the lineup for the game against Crystal Palace on Saturday? Let me know what you lot thought of today's performances. Big up to Dan Gore, who played today, came on second half. Shout out Austin Baker. You guys know he's a big Dan Gore fan. Thought of him when Dan Gore was coming on. I think Hannibal Mejbri, for me, the youngsters today, and I'm not saying youngsters because they're actually not that young, but the younger players really impressed me. Palestri, Garnacho, Hannibal Mejbri, and of course, Dan Gore. Hannibal and Garnacho's work rate off the ball was absolutely phenomenal. It's a lot of what we don't have. It's a lot of what we don't have sometimes. And you really see the difference that they make. Again, that's not me really throwing any indirects. You guys know who I'm talking about. People not supporting their fullbacks. But of course, Crystal Palace, I'm not too keen to get ahead of myself because obviously Palace rotated heavily. They sat back a lot. But also when they did have the ball, United was pretty much pressing consistently to win the ball back. And that's something that we have not seen too often in the last couple games. So I'm really happy with that performance. Big up to Brush, says come through that with no injuries. Happy days. Same again at the weekend, please. Oh, wishful thinking, man. Big up Red Scare Claire says we were definitely more fluid without them. If we look disjointed when the big boys come back, I have some questions. Ahmed says, "Oh, come on, Mina. People have eyes to see." You guys know who I'm talking about. The thing is, I don't have to say anything. I don't have to say anything because I think you guys know who I'm talking about. Might be a good omen for the weekend. Maybe, just maybe. Big up to Suleiman, says Casemiro needed some games for fitness, it seems, and that seems to have been the case last year when he joined as well. It took him some time, if you lot remember, to really get fluid, really get into it, and create some impact. So I'm not too concerned. Guys, I don't think I can stress it enough. I'm really excited to see how Casemiro and Amrabat work together, because today we got the opportunity to see some glimpses. Firstly, Casemiro can spray passes from anywhere. Amrabat can spray passes from anywhere. Amrabat can pick up the ball from the backline, progress the ball forward. Casemiro gets into a lot of the right places, which is always so important. And Mason Mount gets to play a bit more forward. So it'll be really interesting to see the next couple games, what the formation is like, who starts, how Bruno and Rashford come back into this lineup. Of course, I can see Garnacho being dropped for Rashford, Bruno being dropped. I don't know who would be dropped for Bruno. I guess it would have to be whoever's playing in that 10. But Bruno can also go out to the right wing as well. Pellistri had a decent game, I think. I think he had a decent game. One thing about Pellistri that always intrigues me is that he's a right foot. He's right-footed and he's a right winger, but he cuts in a lot like he's left-footed. But he's always dribbling with his right foot. Don't cut in so much if you ain't gonna shoot with your left foot. That's all I have to say. Money Mace, come on, you guys know what it is. I think for a player that's had a bit of I don't want to say he's had like weight on his shoulders, because really and truly, I think he actually hasn't had too much weight. I think he's had some weight, but he's not had too much weight. I think he played very, very well. Shout out to Harry Maguire, guys. Shout out to Harry Maguire. Comfortably had a good game. Of course, Crystal Palace wasn't that much of an attacking threat, but even when the likes of Eze and so came on, he really held it down. He held it down. I think he had you know what? If I read Amrabat's stats, then it's only right. I'll read Maguire's stats. 93% pass completion, 125 touches, 86% accurate long balls, 100% tackles won, and he won 90%, pretty much, not 90%. He won about 83% of all his duels, won 100% of his aerial duels. So big up to him. Shout out to him for a great performance. Of course, you guys know he had to put in a good performance, and I said it. He had to put in a good performance today. Amrabat's head was glistening under the OT lights. Listen, anyone that's optionally bold, you guys know they're a monster. Maggie had a very solid game. Yes, he did. Amrabat will help out Casemiro. I think he will allow him to get forward a lot, get involved in attacks, and they're just going to be destroyers. There's two destroyers in that midfield, just chasing people down, clamping them down. I can't wait. I can't wait to see them play together. And big up actually to Amrabat, because this was his first 60 minutes. This was his first really full 1 hour of football. The guy didn't have preseason. The guy didn't play with Fiorentina in the first few games of their season. So he was really not match fit, essentially. He was not match fit to get 60 minutes under the belt and to be playing in that intensity, getting up and down the pitch. There was instances I saw him running full pace to right wing, clamping man down. He was playing left back, essentially he was playing left back, but he was really playing as a central midfielder. He was playing as that inverted stuff. Mina, my chips are all in. Amrabat is a baller. Got a rep. Habibi, listen, I told you guys ages ago, Amrabat, big baller. Don't ever doubt him. Do not doubt him. He's going to only improve this midfield, as it's what we've lacked for a long time. Left back, Shaw, Malacia, Licha, the whole left side is injured. Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Anthony on the right-hand side. It's nice. That's why it's nice to see the likes of Varane, Mount coming back from injury. I'm really happy for that. Maguire was good, not Koala complimenting Maguire. It's real. It's real when Koala is complimenting Maguire. Good game though. Crystal Palace were awful. Good rotation. Love seeing Amrabat, Mount, Varane, Martial. Hope they all stay fit. Just need Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Licha back. We can beat Bayern. Onana, Dallo, Lindelof, Varane, Amrabat, Cass, Hannibal, Bruno, Pellistri, Højlund, Rashi. That's Suleiman naming, I think, his starting team for the weekend. And I'm I wouldn't mind. Maybe I'd put Bruno right, Mount in the 10, but that's me just being on the hype. Amramiro, is that the new name for Casemiro and Amrabat? Amramiro. Amramiro was delicious. It's great, I think. Great performance from both of them. I'm happy to bench Rashford and let him be an impact sub if we need him. Listen, guys, ain't no way Marcus Rashford will be an impact sub. Ain't no way. I think Højlund quietly didn't really impact the game when he came on, but I think at that point of the game when he did come on, it was kind of past the point of needing impact. But if it was any other game, then questions should be asked. But I think he just quietly slotted into that front line. Shout out to Anthony Martial. Lindelof came on, good performance. I really wanted him to score that shot from outside the box that he had with the corner. Had me off my feet for a minute. It's crazy. It's crazy to say this. It's absolutely crazy to say this. Casemiro is our top goal scorer this season. Listen, I knew he liked to score, but to be our top goal scorer at this point of the season, it'll be crazy if he's even in our top 5. I think I'm saying it's crazy, but it's probably likely he'll be in our top 5 for goals/assists for the season. Already he's got like 4 goals, I think it is, and an assist. And of course, we finally scored from a set piece. We finally scored again this season from a set piece. About bloody time. I think the biggest impact for me, or the biggest change maker for me, in my honest opinion, was the midfield. And I know, like I said at the beginning, and I'm going to keep saying it, Crystal Palace weren't at their best. They weren't playing their best starting 11. However, the midfield that we had, the tenacity, the aggression, the willingness to run and track back, we ain't seen that in a minute. In the last few games, we have not seen that. So it was really refreshing to actually see that from the midfield. Of course, Amrabat, Casemiro, Hannibal Mejbri, my guy. But please, bro, don't get yourself sent off. Don't get yourself sent off. Most of the time, the bookings that he gets is always pretty stupid bookings. It's things that I don't think should be a booking. But he brings a man down so much in the game that the referee probably feels like he has to give this guy a yellow card. But his impact for me today wasn't as great as the Burnley game, but I think a big part of his play that he contributes to the team is the tenacity, the strength. The kind of vibe I get is that these guys will run into a brick wall. And when I'm saying these guys, I'm talking about Garnacho, I'm talking about Mejbri, talking about Casemiro, I'm talking about Amrabat. Scott McTominay, I don't see how you get back into this starting lineup unless Manchester United need a goal and they're just basically whipping balls into the box from corners and crosses, and you're needed for your height. Other than that, technical ability, what you contribute to the midfield, I think it's safe to say that outside of Amrabat, Casemiro, obviously Mason Mount, Bruno, Eriksen, etc., I think it's safe to say that Mejbri might be the option that Ten Hag leads to. He started him in 2 games back to back, so I respect that enough to think that. I was happy for Martial, did his thing, nice finish with a weaker foot, great finish from him. I think it was a great delivery from Casemiro, and big up to Casemiro as well, because for I think the opening goal, he played the ball across. No, it was Mount that played the ball, that switched it. So it was good, a lot of good deliveries and good balls switching play today across the pitch. We saw it from Mount, saw it from Amrabat, we saw it from Casemiro, we even saw some from Garnacho. Casemiro always comes with goals. He's become more of a box-to-box mid after joining us from midfield. The last time Bruno did a 1-2 with a player, Ronaldo had just joined the club. I wouldn't mind trying Mount on the right. Either way, it would be harsh to drop Hannibal or Pellistri. I'm in 2 ways about that. I can't lie. I think Pellistri hasn't had the kind of performances where you don't want to drop him, but he hasn't also had the performances that you feel like you have to drop him. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. I think a lot of the balls or a lot of the play today went from that right-hand side. It's like they were always trying to find him, isolate him against Tyreek Mitchell. Tyreek Mitchell was struggling with the overlap from Dalot as well. Jordan Ayew wasn't getting back to support his wing, his fullback. So of course, Tyreek Mitchell kind of had his hands full trying to deal with Dalot and Pellistri. However, that right-hand side for me does not have anyone that's kind of solidified that for me, in my opinion. I don't think anybody's kind of got the rights to that side. I don't think anyone kind of owns that right-hand side. I still feel like it's pretty much up in the air and anybody can kind of take it. It's up for grabs from anyone. So if Ten Hag would like to test it out and see Mount on that right-hand side, I wouldn't be too against it. I would like to see what he's able to do. I do feel like Mason Mount around that box is the most impactful. That's where he is, rather than playing a bit deeper. So if we get him as close as possible to the opponent's box and allow him to operate from there, I think we might see the best of him. Even I think it was that ball, that chance he played Palestrian, and then Palestri got tackled by Chris Richards or something like that. He got tackled. It was a great way. He found him with his left foot. He knew that his body was turning away from the angle that Palestri was running at, and he managed to find him with his left foot, which I think it was a very good pass. But I don't want to rush Mount in too fast into keeping him in for 90 minutes. Of course, we've got a run of games now that I feel like we should confidently be able to pick up the pace. When I say pick up the pace, I mean scoring, creating, defending, pressing, all of that kind of stuff. We should be able to do it a lot more regularly and a lot more consistently. Whatever happened, I don't know if you guys know, but Erik ten Hag had a barbecue on Sunday at Carrington for all the players and the staff. I don't know if Jadon Sancho was invited, but all the players and the staff and their families, so their partners, kids, etc. And he went around thanking the staff, obviously thanking the players for, you know, all their hard work, and also thank the family for being a positive network for the players in terms of supportive and all of that kind of stuff. Whatever happened at that barbecue, it worked. It worked. That barbecue is basically like restarting the season. Is restarting the season for us, like how that when he made them run all their miles last season after the Brentford loss, is basically the same thing. Dutch barbecue cooks so hard, they're cooking in game now. They were eating on the weekend and they were eating today. Mount can cross, unlike some Erik ten Hag favorites on the wings. I agree. He's got a great delivery on him. You've seen it with the corner. Mount on the right over Bruno for sure. I'll definitely take. Yeah, I agree. I'll take Mount on the right over Bruno. I just feel like Bruno is just non-existent when he plays on that right hand side. Rather have him in the 10. I'd rather have him in the 10. He just can't come in and work magic. I'd rather Mount on the right than Bruno. People forget he played there at Chelsea, and I think it was one of his most successful. I think it was one of his best seasons that he had for Chelsea. Not stat-wise, but just performance-wise. Don't be stats merchants, guys. Not stats-wise. Because I think his best performance that he had for Chelsea was a few seasons ago, stats-wise. But I think the season that he really, fans loved him, is when he was playing on the right-hand side. Mount could link well with Dalot. He's good in the half spaces and build-up. And I think he's really good on the ball. He's good at dribbling, something that we never had for so long. And we don't know when Anthony's going to be back, in all honesty. So I'd rather we try out all the best options on that right-hand side and then just stick with what we got best. Mount would never play on the right. It's always going to be Bruno. Never say never. Never say never. Palestri needs time. Let's show the same energy we show Anthony when he starts week in, week out, even after awful performances. Let's give the kid time. He hasn't been given. He hasn't been having game time. I just think he just needs to get into it. He just needs to get into it. I think at the beginning of the game, he was pretty much bursting down the wing. He does this thing, which I think Tyreek Mitchell kind of read well today. It worked for the first goal because Dalot came with the underlap, but he was trying it quite a lot and it wasn't working, where he just tries to bypass the fullback, hit the touchline and just whip a ball across the box. We saw it a lot with Valencia. If you don't remember when Valencia used to play right back, we used to see that a lot with him. Palestri does that a lot. He was doing it quite often today, and it happened to work for the first goal just because of Dalot's undercut, or whatever you want to call it, underlap, if that's even a thing. Facundo just needs a bit more confidence in finishing, and his game will blossom. There's a lot of times today, even when he would cut in on his left foot, make a whole run, and then just try force the ball into the forward, or try force it into whatever midfielders operating in the box. I can't lie. There were some instances when I felt like he should have just taken a shot. I think his dribbling is pretty good. He's got a good touch. It's just his confidence that is not there. But I think it will grow. The more he plays, the more it will kind of inevitably grow. Pellistri just needs to work on decision making and using his weaker foot more. Just confidence, 100%. I think he's just going to grow into it all in due time. Big up to Dixon, says the most complete game at Old Trafford. I think this was easily our best performance of the season, but you guys know that's not me saying much because we've had some poor performances and also we've only played like 7-8 games of the season. But I think that was easily our most complete game. Pretty much like Dixon said it. I think we dominated from start to finish. Of course, everyone talks about the fact that Palace rotated a lot, but we rotated a bit as well. Just the difference is that when we rotate, we have some quality players now. And the players just seemed like they were a bit more in harmony. They were a bit more in sync. And I feel like, I don't know what it is, guys. I don't want to sing his praises too much, but I feel like Amrabat just adds a next level of completeness to that team. He adds a next level of calmness. When he has the ball, or when he's tracking his runner, I'm confident he's going to win that battle. I don't even worry. Today, I'm not going to lie. Second half, towards the end of the game, some shots were flying at Anana. I was a bit nervous. But when Amrabat is literally 1v1ing a winger, running at him when he's at that on that left-hand side, I'm confident he's going to win the battle. Even if the man gets past him, I'm confident he's going to win the battle. And that happened every single time. I think, I don't know. I don't want to get too excited, man. I don't want to get too excited about Amrabat and get too over it. Now we go back to Bruno, do the inshallah ball, and Rashford the cut in and shoot ball. God forbid. I hope one thing I hope is that we could take something away from this game. Sancho is not allowed in the canteen. Rashi packed something. Koala is actually a crackhead. Koala is such a big crackhead, man. He's actually a proper crackhead. Best game playing as a team since Erik ten Hag became manager. I think that's a big statement. I think last season we had some good performances, obviously with more stronger starting 11s. But if you look at the fact that, you know, a lot of those players, Pellistri, Garnacho, Dallo, if you want to say, Maguire, these are players that are not first choice. So these are essentially, it is a rotated squad. These are not first choice players. And this is all I ask. And I say it all the time. All I ask is from players, team performance, the best team performance. I agree with the team performance part. I feel like today everyone looked like they were on the same page. And even when they weren't, when we lost possession of the ball, I was pretty confident we could win it back in like 15 seconds or so, which is what essentially we did. Even when Palace were stringing together a lot of passes, they were going nowhere with the ball. I don't know if you guys realized there was a point where they were pretty much just passing it around in their half and on the halfway line because they just had nowhere to go with the ball. And I think that's another positive that we can take away from the game is the shape that they kept defensively in transition. Tony Martial linking up great with pretty much anyone that was running his way. He even tried to find Lindelof for an opportunity. I think he just overhit that pass, but he also had a good performance. And, you know, it's essential that he stays fit because when he stays fit, it will allow us to rotate that front line more fluidly. It will allow us to, you know, have games where he can start and Højlund come on, or have games where Højlund starts and he can come on. Apparently Erik ten Hag is throwing a barbecue for the players this weekend. What? Again? Suleiman, I'm so sorry. I never got to watch the match, so I'm trusting what Mina is saying, not gonna lie. Suleiman, I'm so sorry. I failed you big time. But I will not let you down on Saturday because I have to find a stream for myself. I will not let you down. I'm a failure. I'm a disgrace. For the second team, this was probably their best performance. Yeah, I agree because it was such a rotated team. I think because it was such a rotated team, you always expect second string, third string players to not really be on the same wavelength. But whatever happened at that barbecue on Sunday, it paid off. If Ten Hag has to organize a barbecue every week now for performances like this to happen, do it. I don't care, even if the weather is getting cold. Do it. Have an indoor barbecue. if we get these kind of performances out of these players. Johnny Evans' headers aging like fine wine. He was fighting in the box, even aside from jumping in the air. I don't know if you lot saw, he was fighting in the box for third, fourth, fifth balls. The guy was literally running, throwing himself into slide tackles. And I was thinking, rah, bro, we're up 3-0. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. As an African winger, I knew about Sufyan Amrabat 4. If Amrabat is playing left back, you are definitely going to swap to the other wing. That's true. I thought Ayew plays as a right winger. That's a valid point. But I think they had that Raksui. I might just call him Raksui. But they had Raksui playing on the right wing. Jordan, Ayew set up, I can't lie, Ayew set up Mitchell. He set up Mitchell. His reluctance to get back. He was in his Rashford bag, very reluctant to get back. And as a result, Mitchell was dealing with two players. But I can't complain because it worked in our favor. Inverted fullbacks might be the thing, you know. You know what, yeah? When someone can play well in that inverted role, I'm all for it. But when we got Wan-Bissaka trying to play like an inverted fullback, I don't want to see it. I do not want to see it, guys. I'm being honest. I do not want to see it. I don't want to see it. But if we have Amrabat again playing inverted left back, but essentially he's playing in central midfield or CDM or DM or whatever you want to call it, then I'm all for it because we saw what happened today. Obviously, I think it'll be different when we come up against other teams in the Premier League. But the good thing that I think that comes from this is that Ten Hag has another formation that he can play in the instance of things not working out. Or, you know, we won't always be... Last season, we were always playing that 4-2-3-1 formation. And I think this season, we can find alternative formations and kind of change it around, switch it up depending on the opponent. Because really and truly, I think any game, some games might need two people to sit. It might need Amrabat and Casemiro both sitting in midfield. In that case, would it be smart to put Amrabat at left back? I don't know. But in a game where we will dominate possession and have a lot of possession, you can put Amrabat at left back and then have him inverted and allow Casemiro to get more forward. I think it worked today. It could work against, you know, when we come up against the likes of Sheffield United, Luton, who, by the way, got beat by Exeter. They got beat by Exeter, a League One or League Two team. They got beat by Exeter today in the Carabao Cup. They don't even deserve to be in the Premier League. Honestly, I can't wait for United to play them, and I can't wait for us to play Sheffield United. I think we're playing Sheffield United actually in a few weeks' time. Big up to everyone in the chat. Let me know, man. Out of 10, let's rate today's game. Rate it on performance. It doesn't have to be individual performances, but just like a overall thing. Overall, how was the performance? I give it a 9 out of 10 overall. I won't say 10 out of 10. But I give it a 9 out of 10 overall. I still think there was instances that we could have scored more goals. Am I being harsh? I don't know. Am I being harsh? Damn. This is the lowest rating I saw. Big up to Abdurrahman in the chat. Said 6 out of 10. So just better than... It's just a little bit, you know. That's a harsh one. I can't lie. That's pretty harsh. Please in the chat put the reason why you said 6 out of 10. Maybe it's because of, I don't know, you know, the opponent rotated, because, you know, they had a weaker lineup out. Because I do feel like when Crystal Palace did make changes, they did get forward a bit more. And, you know, for me, Eze is too good to play for Crystal Palace. I hope he leaves Palace, whether it's in January. I heard reports that he's about to start talks for a new contract with Crystal Palace. I hope that's just, you know, for them to put a release clause and then sell him next summer, because he is too good to even be at Crystal Palace. I think he needs to leave. A 10. Big up to DK. Ahmed says 8. I think 8 is fair. Suleiman says 8. Dixon says 10 out of 10. Big up Abdel Nasir says 9 out of 10. Leo says 8. So it's between the 8s and the 9s. Okay, Abdurrahman says Palace didn't even play football. I mean, is it because Manchester United did not allow them to play football? or just because they just weren't good? Because I think it was more so that United didn't allow them any time on the ball. I don't think there's times where they had possession, but they were just doing nothing with it. And I think it's because of the way that United were set up in their defensive shape. Everyone knew what they were doing. No one was overcommitting. I don't know if you guys saw, but today in the press, people weren't overcommitting, whether it was Hannibal, whether it was Garnacho. Mason Mount was pushed up a little bit, which allowed Garnacho to press the right centre back. And then the right back was being pressed by Mount. Hannibal was coming over a bit more central. I think it worked out. I think, however, tactically, what Ten Hag planned, I think it went well. 7 for the whole team. Oh, okay. All right. So, okay, guys, before you read this, Koala is doing it, breaking it down, the overall per player. So he's saying, I thought he said 4 for Amrabat, as if Amrabat was a 4, but he's saying 7 overall. And of that 7, 4 of it goes to Sofiane Amrabat, 2 to Cass, and the others get 1. That's pretty crazy. In context as to how we've been playing so far this season, this game is a 10. I agree. If we're going off the context of the season, then this has been our best performance. But of course, it's only been 8 games. This is our 8th game of the season. We've had 6 Prem games and 1 Champions League, and then today. So it's not a big pool of games that we can really go off. But if we're going off of the last 12 months, the last 14 months, however long it's been that Ten Hag has been in. And also bear in mind, guys, Ten Hag did not rotate last season, because when we did try to rotate early stages of Europa League, we just could not see games out. We could not be clinical enough to score. We had to end up bringing on the likes of Ronaldo, the likes of Rashford, etc. So I think the fact that Ten Hag rotated today, and it kind of paid off. It didn't kind of paid off. It did pay off. I think it definitely worked in his favor, and will maybe give him a bit more confidence to rotate in certain games in the future. Of course, like I said, when we come up against weaker sides in the Premier League, I think Ten Hag will put out a strong lineup, but also it can give him the option to rotate in certain positions. I just want to double check when we actually play Sheffield United, because I know we played them in 3 games time. So we played Palace, Brentford, and then Sheffield United. And then, goddamn, we played Manchester City. Of course, we've got Champions League between that. Big up to everybody in the chat, man. You guys know what it is. Quick post-match review. Appreciate all of you guys for stopping by. I don't always do streams late at night, guys, but lately we've been playing late games. So I kind of have to do it. Make sure you guys like. Make sure you guys subscribe. You guys know what it is. A lot of content coming throughout the week. Friday Night Lights, we will preview the games on the weekend. Of course, a lot of gaming streams as well. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Big up to everyone. I hope you guys have a great day tomorrow, because for once we can go to sleep and Manchester United won. And not only did they win, they pretty much won comfortably. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, guys, it's your girl, Mina. Peace out.